Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Sell in May and go away, guys. This coming from Tony Edward. Well, it's way past May now. This is the boring zone, as Raoul Pal would call it. I think we have to wait until mid-September before markets start to move significantly. And, it's kind of feeling like that. It feels like this summer is, although we've seen a bit of excitement, we haven't really seen too much in terms of real meaningful market moves for the crypto space. So he goes on to say, down cost average, hodl and be patient, go outside and touch grass or sand. I'm hanging out in Punta Cana for the week. And there's a quick clip there from Tony's vacation in the beautiful town of Punta Cana. And even if you cannot make it to the beautiful beaches of Punta Cana, even just going outside for a walk is kind of nice sometimes. Bitcoin right now trading a little bit lower. It's trading at $58,300 per coin. We were seeing it ranging in around $59,000, $60,000 yesterday. But we haven't really seen too much in terms of Bitcoin movement on the daily. You guys can see very short candlestick there. Although the day has just begun, we are still, just ranging in this zone, a zone that we've been kind of trapped in for several days now. I guess if you were to take it from this support level from way back at the end of February 2024, it is 170 days. And generally speaking, we don't tend to see this type of reaccumulation range. But, as Tony says, as we've, mentioned too on this channel, August, September generally are red months. And so, we might not even see anything until the end of September into October and further into Q4 of 2024. That's generally when we do see the crypto market really kind of take off. You guys can see we're down from the 50s back down into the 40s. Neutral sentiment for the crypto space. Market cap is down to $2.07 trillion. That's down about 3.89%. 24-hour volume, that is up by a little bit, 11.82%. Bitcoin dominance maintaining at 55.8%. Over the last 24 hours, the market has seen a bit of a sell-off, as you guys can see in those numbers. And, it's getting quite boring as Tony puts it here. This is the time to down cost average and to hodl your favorite cryptocurrencies, whether it's XRP, whether it's Bitcoin or others. For more information on what I'm trading, guys, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel, where I'm opening up my portfolio, letting you guys in on the $15,000 plus portfolio that I've been accumulating over the last just over a year now. Some of those cryptocurrencies are actually at a pretty good price point too, even lower than when I initially bought them. So patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if you guys are interested in seeing what I think could rally really, really hard once we do get to that euphoria phase. And guys, we will at some point. It's just going to take some time. As you guys can see here, XRP still trading in the in the 50s. Nothing too exciting for XRP here. 56.7. That's where we're at for XRP. Again, I wish I had some more positive news in terms of the crypto market. When we look at total 3, you guys can see altcoins have been slumping a little bit. And, it's been like this again since mid-March. We've seen this slump occur. We've been moving steadily downward for the altcoin market. But you know what? This will change. I have a feeling it will in Q4. And it will obviously follow Bitcoin and the Bitcoin price move. But guys, there's lots of positive news brewing surrounding this, this struggling crypto market. Brad Garlinghouse did recently come out reposting Vet's tweet here with regards to the Bitnomial launch of XRP futures. If you guys didn't see the video I did on that, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. But, it's good to see, in case you missed it, this coming from Chad Steingraber here, in case you missed it, what Brad Garlinghouse reposted, again, with regards to XRP futures contracts. That is just going to get more money into the XRP cryptocurrency just by extension. If more people are purchasing these institutional grade products, there's going to be more demand for them, and they do need to be backed by something. XRP is going to see more traction moving forward, and this is exactly what what Ripple wants too. More liquidity. I mean, ultimately, they don't, they care about the price, but really it's about liquidity into the asset class. And, any type of institutional grade product, I think Brad Garlinghouse would give the thumbs up to. That's just, my opinion on that. Maybe he has a different opinion. And, XRP is just one crypto, guys. This market is going to get huge. Listen, coming from Riz, I think all these blockchains will be worth multiple trillions of dollars in the next 10 or so years. Here's Raoul Pal with Anthony Scaramucci. Listen to this.
The banks are worth. Do you think, if this thing is going to replace a lot of banking transactions, shouldn't it be worth at least $1 trillion?
I think all of these big blockchains will be worth multiple trillions of dollars because these are not single applications. They're entire networks of which you can build entire other businesses upon. These are immensely valuable things, but the applications haven't yet been built on it. So, yeah, I think you're dead right. This cycle is not where these things are going. I think this space goes from 2 trillion today to 100 trillion by 2032, 2034.
Okay, so the message from Raoul Pal and also Anthony Scaramucci, but you're the big kahuna, I'm just a tiny piker, is relax. Don't get yourself too crazy with the volatility. All right, let's go to viewer.
Yeah, hold on. I just want to raise one point about this.
Yeah, please.
I just want to go back to what I just said. $2 trillion to $100 trillion in, let's say, 10 years. That will be the largest, fastest accumulation of wealth in all of human history.
Yeah.
That will be double the 100-year accumulation of wealth of the S&P 500.
Yeah.
So for those people in the game,
well, not to interrupt, but it would make sense because you're taking third parties out of transactions. You just have to think about from a human innovation point of view. Every time we've interacted with each other because we don't trust each other, we have a verifiable third party to help us. If you remove that, think of the cost savings to human society, human economy. So of course it would create that level of wealth in a system that does that.
So therefore, as an investor, that's the thing to keep in mind. How do I stay in this trade for as long as possible and compound what is the largest? If I go back to anybody and say, would you have bought the NASDAQ in 1990? Everyone would, hell yes. Well, here you've got it, 1990, not 99, 1990. You go, hell yes. Well, that's where we are now, somewhere in the mid-90s of the NASDAQ.
Yeah, even though the NASDAQ in 2000 corrected by 50%, if you bought it in 1990, you're sitting here in 2024, you're a very happy camper.
Very, very happy camper. So, just think about the amount of wealth that generated from the technology boom. This is going to dwarf that.
Those are staggering numbers, if you heard it there. Comparing it to the NASDAQ in 1990, not even 1999, as Raoul Pal clarifies there. 1990, this is where we're at today with crypto, guys. These blockchains are going to be worth trillions of dollars. And what he, discusses here is that macro trade. So this is why I have a plan for my XRP. I'm going to be selling some now during this bull run, but I'm also going to be keeping partial amounts of my, part of my cryptocurrency portfolio. Some of those cryptocurrencies I'm going to be selling fully for profit. It is a spec run. I want to make as much money as possible. So again, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. If you guys are interested in my plan, in the exact percentages of what I'm going to be selling, of what I'm going to be keeping, because this market is going to be 100 trillion, at least according to Pal here, in the next 10 years. Let's keep moving along, guys. Ian Binns posting this. So Treasury officials call for action from U.S. policymakers to regulate cryptocurrency before the next crisis. I wanted to bring this up. This is not a new article. This was back from earlier this year, January 2024. But guys, it's almost like a foreshadowing of what is coming. Lawmakers in the U.S. need to take action before the next crisis to develop standards to regulate crypto. Before the next crisis, you say? Things that make you go, After each financial crisis, new regulations are adopted, such as the Dodd-Frank Act and the National Bank Act, and Treasury Assistant Secretary for Financial Institutions Graham Steele for cryptocurrency policymakers have been the ability to act before a crisis happens, he said. For crypto assets, policymakers have a chance to act before a crisis to adopt higher standards that support responsible innovation. Steele said, at the same time, it is critical for any legislative proposals don't undermine the already robust regulatory foundations that apply to financial institutions and capital markets. Now, it's interesting that he says before a next crisis hits. Does he mean a financial crisis, or does he mean something else? Were they foreshadowing perhaps something else that they knew was going to come down the pike at some point? Now, Kim.com reposted this. Breaking: Bill Gates just had his WHO puppet announce a new global health emergency. This just came out from the WHO guys. Listen to this.
Today, the emergency committee met and advised me that, in its view, the situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. I have accepted that advice. The detection and rapid spread of a new clade of mpox in eastern DRC its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported mpox, and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives.
So are we looking down the barrel of beer flu 2.0, ladies and gentlemen? I certainly hope not. And I think they will be more prepared now than they were the first time around. The U.S. is certainly, well, at least trying to pull up their socks. Eleanor Turret here posting this. Florida Congressman Darren Soto, he said that he and his colleagues on Block Caucus are calling on Kamala Harris to do three main things when it comes to cryptocurrency: repeal and reform the SEC's SAB 121, pass the FIT 21, and work with Congress to pass a final bill to establish clear rules of the road, and to encourage her to recognize the importance of crypto, specifically with the remittance aspect of it all. Caitlin Long responding, nothing about fixing debanking. That's very disappointing. Gronky.eth saying, stop the choke point hostility pronto. So some other people here with their preferences, with their opinions on this, their suggestions. Well, we did get this, guys. Breaking. Democrat Senate Leader Chuck Schumer just said to Crypto for Harris that he plans to support crypto innovation through passing a bipartisan bill in the Senate this year. I saw on Twitter the other day, somebody actually did post quite a clever tweet regarding Crypto for Harris. Basically, they said, until it's called Harris for Crypto, I'm not buying it. Crypto for Harris doesn't mean much at this moment in time, but when Harris is actually for crypto and you switch those two words around, that's when it's actually going to mean something, and I get his point. Anyway, here's the Chuck Schumer clip. Listen to this.
So it's great to be here for everybody with so many leaders in crypto, and I appreciate this great invitation. First, let me thank Mark, not only for his introduction, but as I said, for doing so many good things in so many good areas. This guy cares about things, and he calls me up about them all the time. Make this part of the world better, that part of the world better, etc. I also want to thank Sheila Warren and all of you for being here. Now, there's great enthusiasm for the Harris wall ticket from every corner of our country. You can feel it, you can see it, you can smell it. It's gotten Democrats and Americans as a whole who are worried about the advent of Donald Trump so excited. And why are we here today? Because we all support Vice President Kamala Harris to be our next president, and we all believe in the future of crypto, as Mark outlined. I believe in my bones that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will win this election. They'll lead Democrats to the majority, we'll keep the majority in the Senate, we'll get the majority in the House, and then there ain't nothing stopping us. Now, being here with you today is very important, and that's why I made time on my schedule here. Crypto's been around, of course, for over a decade. It's grown more influential than anyone could have anticipated years ago. Each and every day, as Mark said, it's not an elite thing. An estimated 20% of Americans use these assets, and this will only grow in size and scale. I believe that Congress has a responsibility to provide common sense and sound regulation on crypto, and we need your support to make sure that any proposal is bipartisan. That's the only way we get things done. Ultimately, my goal when it comes to crypto regulation is this. I want to bring members on both sides of the aisle here in the Senate together, create momentum so we can pass sensible legislation that helps the United States maintain its status as the most innovative country in the world. My goal is to get something passed out of the Senate and into law by the end of the year, and I believe we can make that happen. I think we should strike a balance for crypto between promoting innovation and providing common sense guardrails.
And that's just over 2 minutes of that clip there from Chuck Schumer. Sounds positive. Who knows if they will follow through? Eleanor Turret here also commenting. Another thing I heard a lot of tonight was pro-crypto Democrats saying that with Kamala Harris, we have a clean slate, and she won't be like Biden when it comes to politics surrounding crypto policy. But it's been pointed out many times that Senator Warren and her associates have been heavily involved in crafting many of Biden's economic and financial policies. Warren has endorsed Harris, and Harris knows how powerful an ally Warren is. So, while Harris might have her own ideas, will she be able to break from Warren on the issue of cryptocurrency? It sounds like a bit of a bait and switch if I'm going to be honest here, or maybe that's not the right term, but I don't think she's being completely forthright. I think, there's these concepts about crypto. There's, Democrats coming out. They do need to win the crypto vote, considering much of Silicon Valley does vote Democrat, but also Silicon Valley is the crypto industry, at least in the US. But guys, it is all coming to a head. This one courtesy of Smoke here. Democrat leaders aiming to pass crypto legislation by the end of the year. JP Morgan predicts stablecoin bill is to pass before the election. Russian international cryptocurrency transactions plus CBDCs are starting at the end of 2024. We've got the UK stablecoin legislation at the end of 2024. Fair market value of crypto revealed by the end of 2024. Also, MiCA crypto regulation in full implementation in the EU by the end of 2024. So the bull cycle is underway. The end of 2024 is likely where we're going to see this uptick for crypto. And so, guys, the narrative is shaping up quite nicely. On top of which, Subjective Views bringing this to our attention too. Senator Debbie Stabenow discussing this. Listen up.
And we are working very closely together through my Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee on the CFTC, the commodity pieces of this, and doing as much as we can in the commodity space. And lots of folks say to me, well, you chair the Ag Committee, what are you doing with crypto? And I said, well, it's commodities, and we want to make sure that we are providing the structure that both protects consumers, but also allows this innovation to really flourish.
Why would the commodity sector be talking about cryptocurrency? Well, the court's decision indicated that XRP in general use or when sold on public exchanges might not be considered securities, hinting at a commodity-like classification. And you guys remember this photo of Carolyn D. Pham? The next stop on my learning tour was visiting Ripple Labs. Thank you to Brad Garlinghouse. So will XRP be considered a commodity? Could this be the next step, guys? About a year and a half ago, I did a video regarding David Schwartz's opinion on XRP, and he thought it would be considered a commodity. Now, granted, this was before the SEC lawsuit verdict. Again, I did this video back in January of 2023, but David Schwartz does explain why XRP is a commodity here. Listen to this. Commodity, security, this is where we're at in the United States, at least, not in the rest of the world, but in the US, this is still the big question. And David Schwartz has come out and he's actually given his opinion on why XRP is in fact a commodity and not a security. So this one courtesy of Ian Binns. David Schwartz has come out. He said he took to Twitter to explain why XRP meets the definition of a commodity. And so, this is the biggest, this is the contestation with regards to the Ripple SEC case. I figured I'd just bring up the tweet thread here because he was having a discussion with JV. He actually responded to this tweet. Let's take Apple for the sake of your example. Before they went public and became established, if Apple created a capped amount of iPhones, let's call it 100 million iPhones, used the profits from the sales of those iPhones as revenue to build up Apple and promised efforts to get it adopted and raise its value, while putting 50 million of those iPhones on the market to be traded for investors, while Apple sell on the same market for its revenue, do you all honestly believe that that would be okay? Or are you going to continue to try to make excuses and comparisons due to your biases and create examples while leaving out certain aspects surrounding Ripple and XRP? So he's being critical here, and he's using kind of an interesting analogy because iPhones have utility. If they did the same thing with iPhones, I could see his point to a degree. He goes on to say, like I said, a settlement that allows Ripple to carry on with no changes opens up a whole new world of problems. Well, David Schwartz responded here, what problems do you foresee from a ruling that says a sale of a commodity with no post-sale obligations for the seller to the buyer is not an investment contract? And he writes here, if the judge rules in a way that clearly articulates that Ripple sales are not security transactions, then it's fair game. But I don't see that coming from Gary. Also, I believe that with that type of ruling, she must fully break down how XRP constitutes a commodity. And David Schwartz responds here, XRP is a raw good that trades in commerce, and one XRP is treated as equivalent to every other XRP. That's pretty much the definition of a commodity. No part of XRP's value comes from anyone else's legal obligations to XRP holders. So boom goes the dynamite. And this is the biggest contested point here. The security aspect to it, the SEC is really trying hard to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't pass. And if they lose this precedent, that could mean something huge for the rest of the industry. And this is why, we're talking about settlement. We're talking about a negotiation where both parties will likely not get 100% what they want. So there you guys have it. David Schwartz's opinion, at least as of a year and a half ago before the final XRP verdict. But this is 2024. New legislation is on the table. Are they trying to get something in place before we have another one of these? I don't know, just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.